can't afford to do the things the Liggetts do.
But Henry said it isn't expensive. Maybe a little more than Round Lake, but not much.
I like Round Lake. It's small. It's informal. And you've always liked it, too.
Margaret, it isn't that I don't like Round Lake. It's just that, well, you mustn't forget that we're getting ahead in Springfield. I'm a successful businessman. I've got to conduct myself like a successful businessman. There's a certain dignity about Highland Hills.
Father!
What is it, Betty?
Did you remember to pick up my blue dress at the cleaners?
It won't be ready until tomorrow.
He said he'd have it today.
Remind me to call my lawyer in the morning. We'll sue.
Ha ha.
She's got a whole closet full of dresses, but if she can't have that particular one... What was I saying?
Highland Hills is dignified.
Oh. Well, we'll meet a lot of people who may do me a great deal of good in a business way. And besides...
They have a wonderful golf course.
Yes. Margaret, Henry Liggett assured me...
Jim, you don't seem to understand. A vacation has a definite purpose. You're supposed to relax.
Why can't you relax at Highland Hills?
Because it's a very fashionable resort.
Oh.
Everyone is always dressed to the eyes. There isn't a peaceful moment in the entire day.
That isn't so. Why, Henry Liggett told me...
Mother!
I'm sorry, dear. What is it, Kathy?
May I have a glass of milk?
Not now, dear. We'll be having our dinner in a few minutes.
But I'm thirsty.
Drink some water.
Water? Okay.
Sounds as though she never heard of the stuff.
Jim, you know, there are several things you seem to have forgotten. First, we've had our reservation at Round Lake since last August.
That's no problem, Margaret. They can get rid of that cottage in 2 minutes if we give it up.
And second, you take only a 2-week vacation, and of course weekends, but the children and I are gone for the entire summer. Certainly you ought to consider our feelings in the matter.
All right, I'll tell you what. We'll take a vote on it.
What kind of a vote?
I'll explain the whole setup to the kids, and then we'll take a vote. Round Lake versus Highland Hills. That's fair, isn't it?
Jim, that's the silliest idea I've ever heard. Do you mean you're going to let a mere infant like Kathy...
Well, she'll only have half a vote.
Jim.
And to make sure I get a fair shake, I'll take the other half.
All right, Jim, I just hope you know what you're doing.
I think I do. Betty, Bob, Kathy!
Coming, Daddy.
Boy, it's about time. I'm starved.
Your father wants to talk to you, Bud.
About what? I didn't do anything. Did I?
You want me, Father?
Come down here. We've got something important to discuss.
Oh? Okay. What's all the shooting for, partner?
Kathy, if you don't... Oh, Kathy, look at your dress.
It's got splash.
That's the greatest understatement of the week. What were you doing, deep-sea diving in the sink?
I was taking a drink.
Why didn't you use a glass?
You said I should drink some water. You didn't say to use a glass.
Kathy,
Yes, Daddy?
breathe.
What?
I haven't told you to breathe lately. I wouldn't want you to stop now.
Dad, I think I know where I can find it if somebody didn't take it.
Somebody didn't take what?
The library book.
What library book?
The one I lost. Isn't that what you want to talk to me about?
No.
Oh.
Father, Mr. Manassian promised that he'd have the blue dress ready today.
Betty, he didn't feel well. He had a headache.
Oh. Well, I didn't need it anyway.
Dad,
What is it, Bud?
Joe Phillips and I are going to chip in and pay for the parking ticket together.
You got a parking ticket?
You didn't want to talk about that either, huh?
No. But we will.
Yeah, I figured we would.
Jim, we only have a few minutes before dinner.
All right, Margaret. I'll tell them about it right now.
Well, while you're doing that, I'll put the biscuits in the oven.
That'll be fine, dear. Kids, what would you say if I told you we weren't going to Round Lake this summer?
Father!
Holy cow, Dad.
We didn't do anything, Daddy.
Now, wait a minute. There's no need to get all upset. I was merely trying to find out what you think about going somewhere besides Round Lake, that's all.
Besides, you mean we can go someplace else? For the whole summer? Creepers!
Hey, I know a good place to go.
Now, just a minute, Bud. I want to go to Camp Mishawasky.
Now, wait a minute.
Father, there's the most heavenly place.
I know a place way up in the hills, and Joe Phillips says they don't do anything all day but play baseball.
Stop it.
Dick Andrews and Bill Martin are going to be the lifeguards, and they told me you've never seen any place.
I said stop it.
Patty Davis is going to Camp Mishawasky, and if she can go to Camp Mishawasky, I don't see why I can't go to Camp
Stop it.
Mishawasky.
I've never heard anything like this in my life. Anybody think you were reared in a barn?
But, Father, you said...
Never mind what I said. I didn't say anything about Dick Andrews or Joe Phillips or any idiotic Camp Wishy-Washy.
Mishawasky.
Thank you. Now, if you'll just simmer down for a few minutes, maybe I can get a word in edgewise. It's not a question of going just any place. I've got another spot all picked out.
Is it Camp Mishawasky?
No, it isn't Camp Mishawasky.
Gee whiz.
And it isn't the place where Dick Andrews is the lifeguard, or the place where they do nothing but play baseball with antelopes all day.
Jumping creepers.
Go ahead, Bud.
What?
I said, go ahead, drop the other shoe.
Holy cow.
All right. Now, I've been talking this whole thing over with your mother, and we've agreed to put it to a vote. We'll decide between Round Lake and
Yes?
Highland Hills.
Oh, no.
Gosh, Dad, what do you want to go there for?
I want to go to Camp Mishawasky.
Yeah, you go to bed.
It isn't even dark yet.
Well, close your eyes and go to bed.
Can't I just close my mouth?
All right. But keep it closed.
Yes, Daddy.
Most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Anybody think I was asking you to go to Siberia? To work in the salt mines?
I'd rather go to Siberia.
Well, we'll see if it can be arranged.
Father, Janie Liggett went to Highland last year, and she hated it.
Is that so? Her father said they had a wonderful time.
But it's just like the old lady's home.
You have to walk around on your tiptoes, and you can't even talk.
Kathy,
I didn't say anything, Daddy.
Highland Hills is one of the finest resorts in the entire country.
But it's so dead, Father. There aren't any boys there. Or anything.
Well, Bud will be there, and he's a boy.
Father.
Boy, am I gonna have fun.
Look, I know it's your vacation, and I want you to have a good time. But don't you think we ought to pick out a place we can all enjoy? You mustn't be selfish about it. Bud, you wouldn't like a place that's all cluttered up with Betty's boyfriends, would you?
I'd like it better than Highland Hills.
And Betty certainly wouldn't want to go to a spot where they do nothing but play baseball, would you, Betty?
I'd rather go there than Highland Hills.
And you certainly wouldn't want to wind up in a hole called Washy Whiskey.
Mishawasky.
That's even worse. Now, at Highland Hills...
Father, why can't we just go back to Round Lake?
Everybody likes it up there.
Highland Hills is a place for comfort and relaxation. It is noted as a fisherman's paradise, a spot where whole families can enjoy a peaceful, restful vacation in the most attractive of surroundings. Nestled in the foothills...
Daddy,
What is it, Kathy?
Patty Davis is going to Camp Mishawasky, and she's my best friend, and I don't care if I do have to go to bed. I don't like Highland Hills.
Well, I'm not concerned whether you do or not. You only have half a vote.
What?
Jim, dinner's ready.
We'll be in a second, honey. I was just explaining to the children...
Mother, we don't want to go to Highland Hills.
You can't have any fun up there, Mom. Honest, you can't.
Now, just a minute.
Jim, if the children feel that strongly about it,
But they haven't given me a chance to explain.
we've always been very happy at Round Lake.
It's not a question of Round Lake. They've all got a different place they want to go. And for the most idiotic reasons. Because they play baseball or because Dick Andrews is a lifeguard. Why should the whole family go to a place we know nothing about just because Dick Andrews is a lifeguard?
Betty, why don't you answer the phone?
I'll answer it myself. Man wants to do something special for his family, and what thanks does he get? Everybody acts as though I was sending him to jail. Silliest family I've ever seen. Hello?
Mr. Anderson, I have all the information for you on Highland Hill.
Oh, hello, Miss Thomas. What did you find out?
They have a 2-bedroom cottage available for the season.
Good.
And the manager says he's quite sure that cooking privileges can be arranged.
Fine. What did he say about the rates?
Well, there isn't much choice, Mr. Anderson. They just have this one cottage left at $54. That's without meals, of course.
$54. Say, that's wonderful. That's even less than Round Lake.
I don't think so, Mr. Anderson.
Miss Thomas, we've been paying $500 a season at Round Lake, and that comes to over $60 a week.
Mr. Anderson, this is $54 a day.
Well, naturally, but... What?
$54 a day.
$54 a day?
That's right.
Thank you very much, Miss Thomas. I'll see you at the office in the morning.
Would you like me to call them about the reservation tonight?
No, I think we'd better forget about it for the time being. Thank you again, Miss Thomas.
Good night.
Good night, Miss Thomas. $54.
Jim, everything's getting cold. You won't enjoy your dinner at all.
What?
I said it. Jim, what is it?
Nothing, Margaret. But I've just had a great idea.
Oh?
Yes, sir, absolutely great. Instead of arguing about Highland Hills and all those other places, why don't we just go up to Round Lake?
Well, everybody certainly had his own idea on the big vacation. So often that's the case. We all want something different. But I'm pretty sure there's one case where millions of folks all want the very same thing. I think you'll all agree, in a cup of coffee, flavor's the thing you want. And naturally, when you buy a pound of coffee, you're after the most in flavor for every penny you spend. That's just what you get, too, in our Maxwell House coffee. Here's the most famous flavor in all the world. Wonderful, good to the last drop flavor that makes you say, that's real coffee. You won't find that famous flavor in any other coffee either. No coffee but Maxwell House. And for good reason. We have a recipe, a mighty special recipe. With it, our Maxwell House people select certain fine varieties of coffees, then blend them in a particular way. It's the one way, the one recipe for famous good to the last drop flavor. And it spells the big difference between the flavor of just any coffee and the wonderful goodness of America's favorite brand. But taste that difference for yourself. See how much more flavor, more real enjoyment you get for your money in our Maxwell House coffee. Bring home that familiar blue tin tomorrow. Enjoy coffee that's always good to the last drop.